A very good evening to our viewers. Thank you for joining us tonight on the evening review. My name is Steven Jabela, your host. Tonight on the platform, we are joined by John Ikela. He's a veteran of the Namibian liberation struggle, having fought in the war, and we are here to discuss that period which late President Sam Nujoma led. Of course, we know he'll be buried in Windhoek this week, and we are continuing conversations around the legacy that he created alongside others. Thank you very much, Mr. Ikela, for making time. I think I'm actually surprised because you look relatively young to have participated in the liberation struggle. Maybe tell me just where you came from and why you joined the liberation struggle and around what time.
Thank you very much, Toibo. You're not the only one who ended up doubting my possibility having been a plan fighter before.
Yeah.
I was one. Okay, my name is John Ikela.
Yeah.
I hailed from Omsati region, a powerful village called Omagalanga.
Okay.
I joined Swapo in the 1980s there, from Oshakati Secondary School. We crossed the borders in the group of many young boys that time. Maybe if I can just reflect some of them's names, like Tommy Nampolo, Stephanus Akambai, for now he's late, so rest in peace. Nikki Ipinge, also sacrificed, rest in peace. And Jacob Kalume, there were a lot. And then myself, and the rest, the list is too long. We left Oshakati that day. I will cut the story very short, don't worry. We left Oshakati that day in the afternoon. I cannot remember exactly the same day, apart from I can remember the day we crossed the border. Then when we came to Ompumbu, like in the direction of north, through Olupandu, and we have to meet the Swapo fighters at one village called Shikuyu. While we came across the Ompumbu, we were already caught or rather arrested by the South African soldiers by then. And we were interrogated so much, and we pretended as if we were going to play soccer at that village of Olupandu. Yeah, we didn't suffer a lot from maybe manhandled or beaten up or so, no. But unfortunately, or very interestingly, there was one guy older than us, and he was not even having an aim to go with us. That guy suffered a lot at the hands of the South African soldiers. We went up to that village. Let me call it, it was an assembling point where we have to meet the PLAN guerrillas so that they can escort us to Angola.
You knew that Swapo soldiers would be there? How did you know that they would be there?
We have a communication before already. That was really a pre-arrangement with the soldiers of PLAN. We went there. Then we start our journey. I was surprised by then, one of the combatants could able to speak English a little bit. Then he told us that, our way will be tough. We will experience a lot of, challenges, but they also orient us as to how to behave on our way in case we end up engaging, or rather, attacked by the enemy or so. They told us that if we find the enemy, there's one way. You can take cover. You can also listen to the soldiers to give you instruction. There was one slogan, not slogan, but one command where they have to say, "Shiwana limpeta," meaning cover. "Shiwana lotoka" means retreat. Let's run. It was I don't know how they could predict that possibility. Just immediately after we left that assembling point, there was one military armed personnel carrier of South Africa from Ongwelume. Then, they started fighting already right away. And it was like a shock because it was maybe, we only covered around 1 kilometers. They start fighting already. In my eyes, like when I take cover, I could see a soldier fighting. They fight, but I don't know how come that, that vehicle was not destroyed, nor any casualty on our side. And then they managed to escape. South Africa managed to escape. Then we proceed. It was about...
Were you guys walking or using a vehicle?
No, we were walking. We were walking. And then South Africa managed to escape. And then it was about the sunset already. Some of us, we dropped our things there to make sure that we save our lives. But then they asked that whoever is courageous enough to go back and get your things back, we can go together. I decided to go back together with them because I had a suitcase where I have photos of my families and so on. I was very much concerned. We went back and then collect them, then we proceed. It was a guerrilla tactic whereby we are not supposed to continue with the journey anymore. We have to play military tactics. Like we took a direction back of Ongwediva, something like that. And then like this zigzag in the bush there. And we delay the journey almost for 3 days just inside Namibia. Then the 3rd day or 4th day, we cross the border via Namakunde, Onjiva, Shangongo, I think Chikusede, Kahama, Vidyambudu, and up to Lubango.
Up to Lubango.
Yeah, up to Lubango town.
Okay, so Lubango is where it was sort of the first station where you guys now settled.
Not necessarily settled, because what I'm talking about now is town, and we are not supposed to settle in town.
Oh.
The people were somewhere in the outskirts of the town where their bases are.
Yeah. And the survival along that journey, water, food, what was the provision?
No, that was not a problem because you remember, we are under the hands of the soldiers, and although there is war in Angola, no, we were in the protection because we are escorted by military vehicles, armed soldiers, and wherever we go along the road, there are Angolan soldiers also. They are called FAPLA members. To every town we have to drive through. There are also the protection was there. It was very safe up to Lubango. Coming to food and water and stuff, no, we were provided. Okay. Although it was not necessarily up to standard, but it's edible, it's consumable.
What did you guys eat out of interest?
Beans, rice, and water.
Okay.
Cold drink was not, we didn't have that much access, but you can see it is there because we were not Angolan, and these people of ours, they were just, their aim is just to make sure that we reach our camps where Swapo is based.
Absolutely.
In the outskirts.
Absolutely. How old were you?
I was 16 by then.
16?
Yes.
Okay. Because we are also then talking about finding President Sam Nujoma, how long did it take for you to eventually meet him, and where was that for the first time ever?
Yeah. We reached Swapo bases, I think in the same month. I'm talking about September. In Lubango, in one military camp called, or rather just a camp of Swapo, called Onkulumbashe. I think we stayed there for September, October, until the beginning of November. The beginning of November, or rather during November, we were transferred to Topias Hanyako Training Center. That is the center when, like personally, myself, I met for the first time President Sam Nujoma. As by then a president of Swapo and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Yes. That is People's Liberation Army of Namibia plan. Yeah, for the first time. At a distance a little bit. Yeah, I think he came to open a military training before we start. And then he has to go back, and then the second time is when he also came back to see us graduating as soldiers. Yeah.
Okay. So you undertook military training. What happened after you graduated?
I was deployed to the border.
Oh.
Yeah.
Namibia-Angola border?
Angola-Namibia border.
Yeah.
Yes, at the battlefront, like in the front itself.
Around which year was that?
That was 1981, around March.
Okay.
Yes.
I was not born.
Don't worry. You are lucky now.
I'm asking because in 1988, when I was a really small boy, we crossed, me and my mother, we crossed into Angola. My mother was heavily pregnant.
Very interesting.
And that entire borderline was cleared because I was told later that it was so that nobody crosses that from Namibia to join Swapo in Angola. So they cleared the land, and whoever crossed there could be shot.
Yeah.
How was the situation around that time? This border deployment was meant to do what for you, from the Swapo perspective?
Come again at the end of the question.
Yeah. What was the strategy of deploying Swapo soldiers along the border there? Because for South Africa, the strategy was mostly to avoid more Namibians joining Swapo. So for Swapo in that area, what was the aim? Oh,
the aim was just to be close to the country, and also close to the enemy, so that we'll be able to monitor the movement of the enemy, the plans of the enemy, and so on. And obviously, as fighters or as soldiers, we have to be at the borders. We can also not stay in the middle of Angola as if we don't have a purpose to fight the South Africa. South Africa is more like movements is more likely to be at the borders, and it also be easy for us to come and attack inside Namibia. Remember, when we are at the borderline like that, we are not just like a guerrilla, like a regular forces. We are there as guerrilla fighters. Like, yes, our movement is more likely during the night. And during the day, we know how to make sure that we are not detected, or we make sure that our whereabouts is not just exposed to anybody like that.
Absolutely. Yes. We go for a very short break and return with John Ikela. Our conversation continues with John Ikela on the evening review. Now, that deployment at the border, you spoke about how you didn't want to be detected. You operated mostly, you said mostly at night?
At night or undercover. Our movement is more at night.
So typically during daytime, what would you be doing? Would you be hiding? Would you be pretending to be just a local person? How would you make sure that you're covered?
No, during the day we just make sure that we are safe. We are in the jungles, we are in the bush, we hide somewhere just to make sure that nothing's happened to us. Because remember, if we are detected and get attacked, we are guerrillas. We are talking about in the group of even 10, 20, 30, 40. That is nothing to South Africa. If we detect you, you have to fight like, I don't know, that day. So we are under the bush. We can have some few movements. And remember, while we are there, some of our soldiers are somewhere also like in civilian close the border and monitoring the movement, so that when we go to sleep in the night, we know what is happening in our surroundings. You see, even during the night, there are already other soldiers who are patrolling, and those who are sent to like a certain distance to come and bring information from Namibia to somewhere. It's like this is succession task like this. Some soldiers are in Namibia. They bring the information to the border itself. Somebody take it to the other post, maybe forward post. Then the other soldier bring the information to the headquarters where we are. Okay, I failed to reflect that I was more operating from the headquarters. Headquarters at the battle front, not somewhere where the regional headquarters was, like the regional office I'm talking about. It's regional headquarters I'm talking about is the one which was commanded by Comrade Erastus Negonga, who was our regional commander. As I'm talking to you now, what you are asking, like where we used to hide ourselves and doing those military tactics, I was placed at the detachment. The unit is called detachment, which is divided into platoons, sections, and so on. And by then, having been serving my comrades as a radio communication operator at the level of platoon commander. And I have also my detachment commander who was in charge of communication at that level. Yes.
Okay, very interesting. Because of now your functions, you spoke about radio communication and stuff like that. Have you ever engaged in an actual battle?
A lot. A lot, bro.
Which one was your first one? Which one do you recall as the first?
The first one. Why the first one? Maybe the first one was not interesting. Let me just tell you.
It must be a very scary experience for the first time.
Let me tell you. I will choose the one I want to share with you.
Please,
okay.
Please do that.
Number one. Okay. The first, second, maybe the third. Still, it's not the one I'm telling you. I don't know which one. Whether it was the 6th or the 7th. But remember, I told you that I was an officer, a communication processing officer for that matter. I was not necessarily made to be sent to the battle. I was the worst war I may end up experiencing is through being attacked, or it's when the big operation has to be commanded to attack maybe a big military base. But I was not really, I was not meant to be sent with the infantry soldiers. The infantry soldiers are the foot soldiers that almost on a daily basis they have to engage the enemy. For me, I was more attached to the commanders at the headquarters. We are talking about the mobile headquarters, not just stationed somewhere. Okay, the battle you say you are interested in. Let me tell you, one day, it was 1982. We were at one unit, a logistic unit, a logistic that cater for the whole region. That day, it was like almost like this time. We feel in the area there was movements of the enemy, because you could hear the sounds of the helicopters. And remember that reconnaissance airplane of South Africa was also in the area, like monitoring. If you see that airplane, you just have to be like combat ready, on maximum combat readiness. So it happened like that. So while it was about to be sunset, we reminded ourselves that it's not safe to spend the night at the same place or the same base. We need to shift for our safety and for the safety of materials of the party or of the region. Yeah, we decided to shift, or rather to relocate the material to somewhere else. We did that like maybe around 9 in the night, so that by the time it's the next day, like we have already left the area. That's also one of the military tactics. Whenever you see that you are not safe, or you realize that you are detected, you have to shift the position for the safety of, for your own safety. We did that. There was a military truck called IFA. By IFA, we tried now to transport those materials to another area. While we are on the way, we detonated a landmine. And landmine is not this ordinary landmine. It's a special landmine laid by South African commandos from the bush and come to the road, the Tay road, like between Kahama and Chipushe where we were. So we detonated that landmine, a remoted landmine. Like it choose, another truck can come and pass. They choose, they only set it off for the one they are interested in. And they really wanted our life. When it was 10 of our truck, yes, they let it off.
That was in the night now, or?
In the night. it went off. We are blown up. And remember, when as such, it's also ambushed. The soldiers are in the ambush, South Africans in ambush. As you detonated landmine, they shoot to kill. Okay, our 3 comrades, they perished there. They sacrificed their life there.
Who are they?
There was one commander, Mashini E4. I remember very well. There was another one called Nashumbu. There was another one I just confirmed today with another comrade who apparently he was Cleopas. And then for me, I was shot to the leg. And the other comrade of mine was shot to the leg. That was, we are talking about Titus Nanjua, Kanika, who was shot on the leg also. There was another guy, Kalenga. No, Kalenga just get fractures to the head. And then our drivers were the main driver was Saki Mbango, and the co-driver was Comrade Akwake. They are all alive, the one I'm talking about. Yeah, and then I could not even remember to use my arm that night. When I remember, when I come to concept, because like when you are blown, you couldn't even hear the sound of the mine. You just hear something. You just see the fire, and that truck was full of drums with petrol, and that is even what made it worse. Like it landed there, but it also protected, because I know that where it landed is where they were ambushing, where the ambush was laid, and then they have to run away, and then they only happened to open fire at us later. There was at one chance I wanted to also open fire. Then I realized that it was at night. The moment I opened fire, they would detect me, because at night, remember, the bullets are also giving flames, and they will be detected. For me, having a good experience, I never opened fire. I just, crawling and then save my life. And then while I was trying to like completely leave the place, I could see also these 2 comrades I was talking about, Nanjiwa and another Kalenga. They were also injured. And the worst part was there was shelling, artillery shelling from other side, bombing the same area from Faplas. They thought it was enemy. I think there was a bit of a confusion. They wanted now to think that they are shelling the enemy, but we were also part of that one. Luckily, it didn't take too long, and then we managed.
So, like, how did it end? It ended because South Africans ran away, or what was the sort of the end game for the night?
I cannot tell, because remember I tell you that the Faplas were also shelling the area. Yeah. For me, the concern was, mine was only to save myself. And you could not see anybody by that time. You cannot say like, oh, where's my comrade or something. It was not easy. Number one, it was at night. 2, you are from that,
The blast.
That blast and situation and pressure,
Yeah.
It was even lucky that we find ourselves almost like we meet somewhere, and then we have to advise each other, like, let's go this way it's a bit safer. How they escape or how that battle ended, I cannot tell much. We only heard the story last time when I was even already at hospital in Lubango, that that truck could be blown like above the tree somewhere and then land somewhere. And then, yeah.
Okay. Now, there's a very interesting but also a very dark episode that continues to dominate conversations, liberation conversations in Namibia, and that was the April 1, 1989 incident, where a group of Swapo soldiers were coming back home as part of repatriating people ahead of the election in 1989, and then they were attacked. I'm told you were part of that. Were you part of that group?
No, I was not part of the, if you talk about people who were coming to Namibia also, no. Yeah. I was part of the people who were in here. Yeah. And I was at between the place called Okangwati and Okautumbe, there between Okautumbe and Ruakana. Our base was there. And even when the commander-in-chief have to give the order for ceasefire and to say, let the plan members not attack the enemy anymore, the ceasefire was concluded, we knew. But the problem with us, it's like that day, the 1st of April, having been there, that area I'm talking about, still it was enemy. We could detect the enemy movements, and we were informed that enemy was, it's like enemy was planning to attack us. Remember, I was a communication operator. I got all the information. I know how the information was rolling, what was taking place. But the thing is that the enemy was already in the area. I think it's like having been there at that base, they could also have some information that there are movements of the PLAN fighters here. And but to cut the story short, it's like that movement was more closer. In the end, we received the military order that we must be on a maximum readiness, and we must really ready to be attacked. The command from the commandant-in-chief was like, you don't attack, but you don't let yourself to be attacked, or let yourself to be like shot at and you are just quiet. That is basically what happened. We get attacked, and then the battle started. If I'm not mistaken, I think we were the first unit to be attacked by South Africa on that day, if I'm not mistaken. I still talk about, under correction, but I think we were the first to be attacked that day. And you know what happened? Okay, the battle started. It was 10:10 that day. The day or the week, I cannot remember, it was 10:10, I checked my watch.
At night?
No.
Afternoon? In the morning?
No, in the morning.
Yes.
In the morning, yes. It started. We start fighting until even we captured. I remember we captured, because I was here at the center here. Our soldiers, I could see them bringing the materials. It was, I can remember of R4 of South Africa. And one radio, like a communication radio, like the one I was having, they captured, our soldiers captured. Hey, during the day, I think it lasted up to almost an hour. And then the battle became worse. You can see the South African choppers come down to see to see where are we, so that they can destroy us. I remember the helicopters come really come lowering, come to the ground.
Yeah.
I was the one to fire at that helicopter, followed by Germany and another guy in Mbwangera, and the rest we fire at them. We open a barrage fire, and it go up a little bit up, and then because the one who was having a Strela in anti-aircraft was a bit hesitating. Reason being, it was too bushy. He cannot go out because you cannot operate that weapon from under the tree. It's unsafe. And I could see him go at where it's clear and shoot at that one. I don't know what happened. The rest is a history. Yeah, and then there was also a one comrade who really defended us. That was German, Shininga Yamwe. German, yeah, Nahuma Shininga Yamwe, German. He was operating a 82 millimeter mortar. That's a cannon. And then he really defended us like nobody's business, to repel the enemy, because it was really now just really exchanging fire.
Yeah.
Until in the afternoon. I don't know whether we have a question or should I just continue?
Yeah, I know we've run out of time, but the only question that I had for you, maybe in the interest of time, really is the accusation leveled against President Nujoma that he set up people to be killed on. First of all, people are talking about Sam Nujoma, Edipa Mtenya, and I can't remember the third person that they keep talking about. I had Mr. Herbert Bierkes on the show the other time, and he was talking about Sam Nujoma, Edipa Mtenya, and I can't remember the third person that he spoke about, as if to say that they were reckless in how they communicated, or that they actually, in fact, they went as far as insinuating that the Swapo leaders set up these soldiers on purpose to dramatize the whole thing so that the international community can sympathize with Swapo and all these kind of things. What can you tell us briefly about?
No. I can't tell you even anything, because number one, I'm not at that level of, that's even, it's a bit political. I was a soldier and I was here inside. What I'm talking about is what I know around myself. Remember, I was not even a high-level commander also to touch that point. That is more political. What I can tell you is that what happened to the battlefield, And my aim also even to reflect on, or rather to share my tribute here tonight, is more on foot soldier.
Yeah.
Just to express my appreciation of how we really believe in Nujoma being our commander-in-chief through and giving us military order through our commanders and so on.
Yeah.
And that is even what I'm more feel proud of.
Yeah.
And even when I'm telling you about Nujoma, I only tell you about Nujoma in that context of having been a soldier at the border. And I can tell you that that base of ours, it was here already. We were already here. We were like, what can I say? The only time I have to go back to Angola is to get a flight to come back to Namibia from the 16th parallel, if you heard about that one, after ceasefire. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. But I don't think even so that story, okay, although it's not at my level, I can't even imagine about that, because for us, we were only fighters here inside. Yeah, I also heard about this as rumors or whatever, but for that one, you cannot even imagine about that one. We have doing our activities here as soldiers, and I'm proud for that. I mean, for that one.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Last words, Sam Nujoma, what did he mean to you?
Sam Nujoma, for me, we want to remember him having been, okay, the final word is he was a revolutionary. He's a revolutionary, and if you so want to say the other strong quality you are talking about, he was a liberator. For us, he was our leader, and we really have lost one of the best leaders of our time. Nujoma really led us during the liberation struggle. And as a soldier, when we talk about Nujoma, we only talk about Nujoma being our commander-in-chief. And when we mourn, we only mourn about that. And the battles I'm talking about here, where that courage, I'm telling you, that courage is only because we know we have Nujoma commanding us. To my also even comrades, like especially the plan combatants, especially at the lower level, I want to encourage them that there is a proverb that we have introduced when we were plan fighters, like in Oshwambo is said, meaning, men, you don't cry like your mother. You cry only like through the barrel of the gun. That is how we mourn, even when we have our comrade perish during the liberation struggle. All we believe in is that the battle continue, the war continue, struggle continue, a victoria assert. And in this case, I would like to say, may the spirit of our founding president, the commander-in-chief, our leader, may he rest in eternal peace. And let us take where our leader ended, and we want to see this country well developed, and we must not let him down. I thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Ikela.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is John Ikela, former plan combatant, who draws a lot of inspiration from the command of founding President Sam Nujoma as commander-in-chief at the time, and narrating how they were encouraged, even in the absence of Nujoma, to continue fighting for the liberation of Namibia. Thank you for watching.